On average, your pregnancy will last about 40 weeks, but anything from 38 to 42 is quite normal. The changes which enable your baby to grow and your body accommodate it are controlled by hormones produced immediately after the baby is conceived. Within a week, the fertilized egg, now a cluster of more than 100 cells, has implanted itself into the inner lining of the uterus.
At 6 weeks, an embryo has formed. It's the size of a pea, and the ears, eyes, mouth, brain and digestive organs are beginning to form. The heart will beat and blood will be taking food from the rich lining of the womb. The amniotic sac protects it from infection and keeps it safely cushioned. The placenta will also be well developed at this time. This is the organ which feeds your baby inside the womb. It has direct contact with your bloodstream, and this is how nicotine, drugs and alcohol, as well as food and oxygen, are passed from you to your baby. The baby's waste products pass back into your system and are excreted by you. At 12 weeks, your baby's organs and spine are now fully formed, but it needs to grow in order to be capable of independent life. It will begin to move about, developing and toning its muscles. It also swallows amniotic fluid, helping its lungs develop. It passes urine into the fluid, which is replaced completely by your body every 24 hours. At 20 weeks, the baby is 25 centimeters in length. The pregnancy will usually be obvious from the outside, and your baby will now be able to feel and hear the sounds inside you, as well as the sounds outside. You'll probably start to notice your baby move about now. This may feel like bubbles floating or gently popping inside you. Not all sensations are as gentle, since the baby may well feel the need to kick, punch and squirm. At 32 weeks, the baby's head and body are in proportion. He or she has begun to lay down a layer of fat and can move less freely. From now until birth, he or she will gain about 250 grams a week. Some babies may suck their thumbs and some have hiccups, and it's not unusual to feel the odd elbow or foot sticking out. By 36 weeks, most babies have settled into the position for birth. That's head down and facing towards their mother's back. At this stage, some babies engage. That means that more than half the head has entered the pelvis, but it can happen later. Although technically premature, babies born at 36 weeks rarely have any problems.
It is, as people say, very much like little butterflies. Just, like when you're nervous, you get butterflies in your stomach. And it's like that initially, and then it develops, and suddenly it becomes this definite, you're aware of this definite kicking or punching or whatever they're doing in there when, they're wriggling about the place, and knowing that when you put your hand on it, there's something actually growing. It is the most amazing feeling.
From the very early stages of pregnancy, about 14, 15 weeks, this little one was extremely active, kicking, jiggling around, and obviously as that went on, as the space inside got less, it became not painful but very definite.
The stomach obviously is getting really pushed up high, and I feel, it's not, I suppose, heartburn-ish, but just feel really uncomfortable here, and so sleeping has been quite difficult for me. But recently we put the head of the bed on bricks so that we're on an angle, which helps me brilliantly, but Grant's now got a bad back.
And my boyfriend sits up in bed and he's like, "Mary, bucket, you are not going out that door ever again." Because, every time I went, he's waking up and he's like, "There she goes again." And it's infuriating. I hate it. It's really annoying. You're like, I can't wait to not have to go to the loo every half an hour.
If you take care of yourself, it can help you feel much better during your pregnancy. There are lots of very positive things you can do to help yourself, to provide a healthy environment for your baby, and to get your body ready for the coming labour and birth. A well-balanced diet is of great importance during pregnancy, although contrary to popular belief, you don't have to eat for two. On the whole, simply following your appetite is fine, provided your appetite does not lead you too often to fast food and chocolate. Fibre intake is important to avoid constipation. The bacteria Listeria can be a danger to you and your baby. It's found in certain types of food, and it's better therefore to avoid pâté, soft ripened cheeses like brie, camembert and the blue vein types. Cottage cheese and cream cheeses are fine. Pre-packed salads and cooked chill meals may also harbour listeria. Toxoplasmosis is an illness which can affect pregnant mothers. It's caused by a parasite which reproduces in cats' intestines. It will help if you avoid handling cat litter and if you use gloves when gardening. Raw or undercooked meats, unwashed fruit and vegetables, and unpasteurised goat's milk and products can all contain the parasite. It is recommended that you avoid vitamin supplements apart from folic acid. Liver contains high concentrations of vitamin A and is best avoided. It's important not to eat a lot of fat or sugar, but otherwise the normal advice about a healthy balanced diet applies. Smoking can lead to a smaller, less healthy baby. It can increase the risk of premature birth, and if you are a smoker, you'll do yourself and your baby an enormous favour if you give up. If you drink, opinions are mixed about safe levels. The Health Education Authority suggests either giving up altogether or having 1 or 2 units once or twice a week only.
Some women may be affected by nausea and sickness, and not just in the morning, but at any time of the day. Some very unlucky women feel sick or are sick for the whole 9 months. But for most women, this passes after the first 3 months. You can try eating snacks, small and often.
Eat my toast.
If you're being very sick and not keeping anything down, your doctor may be able to help. You may worry if you have no sickness at all, believing that if you're nauseous, at least there's something happening. Again, if you have any doubts or worries, talk to your doctor or midwife. One of the most common complaints in pregnancy is backache. Your centre of gravity changes as the baby gets bigger, so you may tend to lean back to compensate, sticking your bottom out to regain your balance. This is the classic pregnancy posture.
Simple exercise can help here. Be aware of your shoulders. Most of us have tense shoulders most of the time. It's important to try and sit and stand with a straight back and lift things with leg and arm muscles. Whatever you're doing, it's a good idea to breathe out and release tension. Tilt your pelvis and make your abdominal muscles do the work. It can also help to push your back out into something that will support it behind you. Try putting a support somewhere in the chair. This can help you, particularly in seated working positions. To get up without straining yourself, come to the front of your chair and bend your knees underneath you and rise from there. Use your leg muscles to straighten up. This takes the load off your knees onto the muscles, which are much more capable of taking the strain. Getting up from a lying position. Bend your knees, roll over onto your side and push yourself up with your hands, using your leg and arm muscles to help you. On the whole, it's better not to lie flat on your back, because the whole weight of the baby will be on top of you. If you have to lift something up, do it like a weightlifter. Your baby is heavy, so remember, don't use your back. Use your powerful leg muscles, keep your back straight, and bend your knees.
With the increased demands being made on your body, you may find you need more rest. Try to put your feet up as often as possible. It can be helpful to become aware of what your body is telling you, whether it needs rest or food. Some people find that snacking little and often through the day is best. If you have problems with constipation, increasing the fibre in your diet may help.
Other discomforts may include heartburn, varicose veins, and rib pains. There may be something very simple your GP can suggest to help, so it's important to raise anything that's concerning you. There are many things you can safely take, and whilst there's not always a cure for every ailment, many pregnancy discomforts can be lessened. Some women get Braxton Hicks contractions, during which they feel their uterus tighten and harden. This is quite normal and part of the process of preparing for labour. If you find it difficult to get off to sleep because of the discomfort caused by your large abdomen, you can try lying on your side with extra pillows under your upper arm and knee and perhaps under your bump. Turning over in bed may take on the aspects of a full military-style manoeuvre, but may make you feel more comfortable. The important thing is not to worry if you're not actually asleep all the time you're in bed. The physical rest alone is important.
You may be worried about sexual intercourse while you're pregnant. Unless your doctor has advised you otherwise, you can do whatever feels comfortable. Some women feel a tremendous increase in their sex drive at this time, though others don't.
Some women may experience a small amount of bleeding in the first few weeks, and it's important to tell your GP or midwife about any such bleeding in pregnancy. Although in many cases a small amount is not a cause for concern, it can be a warning sign of miscarriage. Now, if you are unfortunate enough to miscarry, it might help you a little to know that you're not alone. It happens to about 1 in 5 women. The amount of pain and discomfort differs from person to person and will vary with the stage of pregnancy reached. Now, it can take time to come to terms with your loss, and you may need lots of support. Miscarriage is more likely in the first 3 months of the pregnancy, and some women don't tell very many people about the pregnancy until they pass this point. It doesn't seem to make any difference to the outcome of a threatened miscarriage whether you take things easy or not. If you feel ill enough to go to bed, then you're better off there. But if you feel well and active, you won't be damaging your baby's chances by being up and about. Both the NCT and the Miscarriage Association can put women who have suffered a miscarriage in touch with other women who've been through similar experiences.